Testing. 1, 2, 3. Close all tabs. What about you? What do you have? What do you have?
I want to solve the case one.
Have you solved it?
I haven't. I will solve it.
Do you want to work with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with them. Here. Okay, so today we will start chapter 2, but before that we will do 2 cases just to hammer in the 5-step method. Yeah? Okay? 20 seconds. So can I ask, which approach did you use to solve this case? Which one? Utilitarian? Why? Why did you? Because cost? Because it's about cost? Where does it say that? All over. Okay. I see. Interesting. Okay, good. Right, are you ready? Yeah? How are you going to explain this to the class? Are you going to make an Excel? How do you solve this? Are you going to put it on Slack? Drop it on Slack, yeah. Yes. You use the fairness approach. Okay, you will explain your solution after them. Yes? I will kill this, and are we on Slack? Wonderful. Did you drop it on Slack, Fatima? No. This will be the most difficult question you will find in the final exam. This is a difficult case. You not only need to be ethical and know the frameworks, you need also to know maths and statistics and a bit of culture. And so remember, it's not enough to know ethics, you need also to have technical knowledge. Yes? So this is a very good example. How was it? Did you Okay, just try to solve case number 2 then. Are we on Slack, ladies? In general? Where did you? I cannot see it. No. Very good. So just a quick recap. You are an intern in the RTA. The government must decide whether to limit the speed in the highway in a lane to Abu Dhabi, yeah? The lane Abu Dhabi highway? Yeah. Right. This is a real case. I took it from Japan, and I adapted here, but it's real. So if we lower the speed less people will die, but yes, but the cost of a human life is estimated at 400,000 dirhams. How do you feel about that?
So little.
Very cheap. Who thinks it's cheap? Who thinks it's too expensive? Okay. Okay, good. So how do governments estimate the cost of human life? Do you know?
No.
How would you estimate it?
Infinite.
It's infinite, really.
Yeah, because
Is it infinite? Or it depends by case. Mine is infinite and yours is a bit less. Or how is it? How is it going? Yes.
from like how much the government will get
Speak louder. How much the government will get
from the persons or
from the persons? Nothing from me. Nothing. How do you know how much money they get from you?
Well, how much do you work for the government? How much work you do for the government? Like
How do you know? How?
you teach us, so if you volunteer, it will cost them more to replace you.
But the government doesn't know if I'm a good teacher or a bad teacher.
Doesn't matter.
Taxes. Hello, taxes. It's taxes. Why do we pay taxes? So the government can keep the rule of law and order, build schools, health system, security, police, all the things that makes life possible, like having roads and water, the basics. So yeah, looking at how much tax one person pays to the government, you can say how much that life is worth to the country. There's no perfect way to estimate, but at least is an objective way, and that's the way we use. So we estimate global average, the amount of taxes that somebody pays is around 100,000 US, so that's about 400,000. Yes, Latifa. I love that. So after them, you will explain it to us. So yes. After them. Yeah. Okay, got it. So that's how we estimate. It's horrible. I know it's horrible, but it's professional. So when the government must estimate, there's a curve here. Should we make the bridge or not? So how many people die here? How much is the bridge? And that's how they do it. Make sense? Most of the time, they do it like that. So life is 400,000. You have references there. You see the references? You see it's properly formatted. Look professional, please.
So you cannot have Wikipedia. It's not very reliable.
It's only 1 out of 3 references. It's okay. If it's just 1 out of 3.
I'll give you research and I'll put Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is more reliable than Encyclopedia Britannica, so it was not reliable 20 years ago. Now it's more reliable than.
So now it's okay if you put it as a resource.
If it's just 1 or 2 things, it's fine. If it's only Wikipedia, because Wikipedia, what they do, they reference the real source. So it's better you reference the real source. It's better if you read the real source. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So we have to decide if we lower the speed limit from 160 to 120, and I give you some more data, some of which might be noise to confuse you during the exam. You must be smart enough to decide what's important and what's not important, like in real life. Okay? So let's go for the analysis. What did you girls do? Right, I'm going to put this. Right. Yes, go on.
It's to limit the speed in the highway. It's limit the speed in the highway Al Ain to Abu Dhabi, reduce deaths from 30 to 10 per year, highway sign change cost 2 million, and 100 kilometer per hour consume 50 more of fuel than 120 kilometer per hour.
That is very nice. Yeah, I think that's most what we need. Yeah. What about the stakeholders?
Passengers, you as an employee in RTA, the government. Alternative, change the highway signs, limit the speed, or that's it. Yeah. Implement a decision. I think that.
Is everybody agree with the stakeholder? No, why not? Who is the same thing?
Changing the highway and the same thing.
Well, we're talking about the stakeholders. You don't agree with the stakeholders? Oh, the alternative. Oh, let's go back to stakeholders. Do you agree with the stakeholders?
Yes.
Yes? So in good stakeholders, you have the users, the people paying, and somebody else. At least three, usually, like parents, students, and teachers. So we have the passengers, the users. You could have you, the intern. I don't think you are the stakeholder. Maybe RTA is the stakeholder.
Because you will take the decision of
Yes, but better to put the institution. You're just an intern, right? Right. And RTA. And who else? The government, who's going to pay for this. Does that make sense? In this case, I think the government and the RTA is the same, so you could say government/RTA, because it's the branch of the government in charge of this. So you have two stakeholders. Okay, that's good. What else did you do?
Using utilitarian approach, it's better to limit the speed since it will reduce number of deaths per year and they will consume less fuel. We do a calculation.
Okay. Good. Do you agree with that? Utilitarian approach, and they decide to reduce the speed limit. Yes. Do you agree with that? Yes. And let's see the calculation they did. Ta-da! So can you explain this calculation, please? Yes.
Yeah, that we pay like 2 million to change speed.
So this change cost 2 million. Very good.
Okay. But if we didn't change and we kept everything, we have 10 clear deaths and 400K for each death times the 2 dirhams per liter and times the 160 between Abu Dhabi and Al Ain kilometer times 50% more
Fuel cost.
fuel, and will have a way bigger number than 2 million. So the government will lose way more than 2 million if they don't change in the long run.
The government?
Like
Who?
the loss. Like the loss number is way more.
I think we should only multiply 30 times 400K.
Okay.
And we
Okay, more or less this analysis is correct, right? 2 million is way less than 30 deaths, but you should put maybe 10 deaths on the other side, right? So if you are here, you just chose to put the increment, but here you put the absolute number. So maybe decide what you want to do. Yeah? So don't get confused with that. So the best thing to do is calculate all the costs in one alternative and all the costs in another alternative. So let's do it again. So I'm going to put the costs here. So I'm going to put change, oh wait, change, and here, oh, maybe I'll do it like this, change, so 120 kmh and 160 kmh, and actually I'm going to move this here. So this is now, and this is maybe. And let's see the costs. First cost, deaths, right? So the death is going to be t, and let's transform. Remember, what's the utilitarian approach about? Happiness of the universe. Not the country, not you, the universe. The total amount of happiness.
But happiness calculated by money.
No, that it's hard to measure happiness. So we measure money as a proxy for happiness. It's not the same what you said. So 30 multiplied by what? Sounds good? And here is going to be
4 million.
sounds good? I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to, since all of this is going to be money, I'm going to put nice formatting like this. It should be AAD, but I will leave dollars, but it's AAD, okay? What other costs do we have? Fuel. What's the calculation?
160 times 2.
So they said there's 2 million passengers per year, right? So let's see, 2 million. So I'm gonna calculate in millions now because it's nicer. Let's work in millions. Yes? Okay? Million DHS. So we have 2 million. What else? 2 million passengers.
The cost of the fuel, 2 per 1 liter, and we have 460 kilometers.
So 2 dirhams divided by 160 kilometers. Yeah. And what else? That's it?
And 50% more fuel.
So I will put 50% of this here. Yes? More. Mm-hmm.
No, now it's 50% more.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So 1.5. Perfect, thank you. Yeah? Good. And here the factor is just 1. Oi. Equal 1 multiplied by 2 divided by multiplied by 2 divided by.
Why did we put 1 here and 0.5 over there? It's more, so here it will be less.
I know. Like this. Yeah? Everybody agree? It's 50% more? Is it? Yeah, so the cost of fuel is not very high, isn't it? Also, this is per passenger, but the fuel is per car, so it's not correct, right? So this would be the worst case. So just remember, this is not correct. We should know what's the average number of passengers and divide by that. Yes? Yes.
So when I count they said that for 10 liters, 100 kilometers, it costs 20 dirham. But for 16 liters or 160 kilometers, it costs 32. I calculated it.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Different from the
Oh, yeah, I forgot something. What did we forget here? So we forgot to divide.
fuel for 160.
So what mistake did I do here? It's incorrect, right?
Divided the 160 is like the
Uh-huh.
between the body and the air.
And it should be the, what should I do?
It should be 3.2
Yeah, because
times
2
times.
Mhm. Okay, so let's do it by steps. So we have 160 kilometers.
yeah,
Yeah.
We have that we spend 2 dirhams
per kilometer.
every 100 kilometers.
No,
Yes, per 100. Ben one for 1 liter.
1 liter kilometers we spend 2.
For 100 kilometers.
Every 10 kilometers, is that what it says?
No, it says 100 kilometers. For every liter, there's 2 dirhams. And so for every 10 liters, there's 20 dirhams. Yeah.
Perfect. Because it's so complicated, I'm going to pull up the magic pen. Ta-da-ta-ta. Excellent. So we have, let's see, we have a car from LA to Abu Dhabi. The distance is 160 kilometers. We want to find out how much fuel our car consumes. I'm such a nice driver, isn't it? Yeah, so how? Tell me, what should I do?
So the first 100 kilometers, we're spending 10 liters.
So we know that every 100 kilometers, we spend 10 liters. And 1 liter is how much? 2 AD. Is this what we wanted? This is one trip, right? Yes? This is per one trip, correct? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes? Have you done this in high school?
Yes. Yeah.
So how many trips do we have?
2.
2 million. 2 million passengers per 1 year. Yeah? Let's assume there's 2 passengers per car. So this guy here, this is per car, right? So liter per 100 kilometers per car. Okay? And now let's cancel the factor. So kilometers cancel with kilometers, which are here. Liter with liter. And we have the cars and the passengers. So if we know we have 2 passengers per 1 car, 2 passengers per 1 car. Yes? How much is this? Can somebody tell me? So we have what? 1.30. Are you sure?
Yes.
Maybe it's double, no? Because we have the 2 passengers now. Oh, here. Oh, yeah, you're right. Good job. So how much?
32 million.
And this is for now or for the 120 kilometers per hour? Which one?
For the 160.
Excellent. So that is 32 million wasted in gasoline in 1 year. Do you want to do your analysis for 1 year, for 10 years, or for... Do we do it for 1 year only? Good. So I put a note here.
Okay, now calculate the other thing. This is just the...
I'm going to put a comment here. 1 year consumption. Sounds good? Yeah? And the other guy? We said 50%. This guy is 50% more. So how much is this guy?
24 million.
So I divide by 1.5 and I will find it, right? 1.5. Wait. 21.3? Is that what you got? What did you got?
100 times 10 liter per 100 kilometer times 2 equal 24.
So it says it's 50% more.
Yeah, now.
So it means
Means 24
Let-
times 0.5 give us 12.
it means now equal before 50% more. 50% more is 1.5 times. So before equal now divided by 1.5. Yes? Do you agree? So how much is that? Yeah, 0.1.5.
Now it's 32. 21.1.
So do you get it? To be ethical, you not only need to know the frameworks and be a nice person, you need to know maths. I'm telling you, this is the most difficult case ever. Okay, the exam will not be like that. It will be much less. But it's good that you see this case. Questions? Well, let's go to the Excel. What other costs do we have here? Shall we calculate? Oh, the cost of changing the signs, right? Cost of change. So the cost of change is 0 here and 2 million. That's it. Okay, and now I'm going to calculate the total. So it's equal sum baram baram daram daram. Everybody agree?
Sir, can you put the sheet on
Yes. Yes, of course. Yes. Yes. Tell me. What is it? The calculation of the fuel is not correct. It's not clear. The factors? Okay. Who wants a more clear explanation of the factors? 1, 2, 3. Okay. The calc.
If you won't give us a question of factors, then it's fine.
No, but it's good that you know it. So we start with the distance, which is 160 kilometers. Yes? We want to know how much fuel we consume to do this trip. You see the car here? You see the car? Yeah? The number. So it's 160 here. I'm sorry, it's not me. It's this software, which is terrible. There's this calligraphic pen. Maybe it's a bit better, but it's not really good. So I'm gonna erase. I'm gonna erase this. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's 160 kilometers. Yeah. We need to transform this into liters of gasoline. So one car, to do this distance, how many liters will it consume? They tell us that for every 100 kilometers, it consumes 10 liters, which is my Toyota Prado. If you have a smaller car, it's much better, right? On average. So these 160 kilometers, these are 10 liters of gasoline, basically, approx. No. How many liters of gasoline? 16 liters of gasoline. Yes? So this is 16 liters of gasoline. We need to transform this into money. So they tell us that 1 liter sells for 2 dirhams. So this trip, it's 1.6 liters, and which costs 32 dirhams. Is this correct? Because to me it costs much more. Yeah. And then there's the cars and the passengers. This is for one car. No, this is for one trip. But a car can hold 2 persons. So this is per trip. You can say per trip. No, per car. Per car per year. So 1 car. Oh, this is divided per car per year. So 1 car, 2 passengers. Is this what we did? Oh no.
With the 2 million before we get the
Oh, yeah, exactly. So can I go back? So we know that one trip costs 32 dirhams, and we have 2 million trips. So we have 2 million. Yeah, I know. 2 million passengers. So, and one car can hold 2 persons. So in this case, nothing changes. Sounds good? Okay? And this becomes million. So one car can hold 2 passengers, and we have 2 million trips. So 2 million passengers, 2 million passengers, and one car can hold 2 passengers, so it's going to be 1 million trips. So these 32 dirhams multiplied by 1 million trips. Sounds good? Okay, good. So this is what we got, more or less. And what else? That's it? Any other costs we're missing? You sure? Yes. Okay, so this is the basics. But you could get more sophisticated and say, well, when we sell gasoline, we get revenue from the tax in the gasoline, which is as high as 60% in some countries. In Europe, it's 70%. So that's a lot of money. So maybe you want people to go faster as a government. It's a trade-off. You see what I mean? So the tax department will say, oh no, let them go fast, let them spend more gasoline. The treasury would say, no, because we send money out of the country. We don't want to. So there's a lot of interests there playing. Do you get it? So you have to be aware. So now you can go back to the stakeholders and say, wait a second. The tax department could be a stakeholder here. Maybe they have something to say that we don't know. Sounds good? So it's good to go back and... All right, but anyway, so who creates more happiness here? This one, because it has less costs. But there's something we're missing here. So if this was true, all the highways in the world would reduce the speed, no? What about if we do 100 kilometers per hour? Why don't we do 100? Huh? 100? We will save more money. Do you know the optimal speed for the car is 88 kilometers per hour? That's when you spend least fuel. 88. You know that? So we should do 88, no?
No, because then the people won't be happy.
And why not?
Because they want to get from place to place fast. Also,
Yes. So how could you measure that?
you ask people around.
People around now. We're missing something here. What is it? Have you not heard the sentence, time is money? Are you laughing at something? What? What is it? Please don't choke in my class. So how do we measure this thing that you're saying, Fatma?
That people will be late for their work, so
They will be late to my class.
yeah,
Unacceptable.
they will get up and they will be mad.
How do we measure time? How do we measure time?
They said that between two cities which are exactly 160 kilometers apart.
Yeah.
So in the first case,
Yeah.
they will reach the destination in 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay, so let's do the time. 1 hour multiplied by 2 million people per year, right? So how many hours is that?
1 hour times 2 million people.
Yeah.
2 million hours.
2 million hour. Sounds good? And in the other case, it's going to be how much? Hold on. Give me a sec. General. I'll put it here, okay? 2 million hours. And in this case? in this case, it's going to be what? 50% more, so 3 million hours. Yes? Because they go, oh, I'm incorrect. Yeah, how much is it? It's 2 million hour multiplied by the speed, which is 160 divided by 120. I need to do... Who's got the answer? Bonus point if you give me the answer. Yeah?
2.7 an hour.
But why?
Because 6, we do it like 7, so we round, yes. We round it to the nearest number.
Right. So, how do I arrive to this? How do we do this calculation? Yes. Or you can say 160 kilometers multiplied by 120 kilometers per 1 hour, that's the speed, right? Equal 1 point what? How much is this? 1.3. How much is this? 1.33, no? Right? Sounds good? Hours. So multiply by 2 million passengers, so that's the passengers hours, yeah? So it's hours or passenger hours. Got it? It's a formula of Newton. Speed equal velocity equal distance divided by time. So times equal distance divided by velocity. Right? Remember this from high school? Yes? Okay, good. So you also need to know physics. Oh my God. Okay. So how do we translate these 2 million hours? How do we translate these 2 million hours to happiness? Because what do you do when you're driving? I am listening to podcasts, learning things. What do you do?
Read a book.
You read a book and you crash? What? Okay, but most people are driving, so they're wasting their life. It's a waste of life. Nobody drives because they love to drive. No one, okay? Some weirdos do it, but that's it. Most people hate driving. Who likes driving here? Bonus point for you girls. So like 4% of the class likes to drive. Good. Who doesn't like to drive? Okay. If I could drive less, I would drive less because it's like... So let's assume this is time before you go to work that is not productive, that you could use to work more. So let's assume that this is lost work time. In many countries, the time you spend traveling to work is considered work. Do you get it? So the company has to pay for it. Like when a company sends a worker to an oil well somewhere, and the guy is traveling, that is worker time. That produces nothing to no one. It's lost. It's a cost. So what's the average salary of an hour of work? On average. it's about, let's say it's 100 dirhams. Just say that. So can you convert this into money now? So we have 100 dirhams multiplied by 2 and 266 million. Correct? What is the new subtotal? I'm going to calculate the new total now. So it's going to be something like this. Okay, who still thinks that we should lower? No, yeah, the speed limit. You still think that? With
No need to calculate the time and the money.
oh yes, there is need. Oh my God, yes, there is need. Yes. This is the reason why your speed limit in the highway is not 60 or 90. Because it has a huge cost of lost time and productivity. We know if you lower the speed limit to 90 or 80, nobody will die in the highway. We know that because we have statistics. But we don't do it. We let the limit be 160. And this is the reason. No, sir.
Not accurate. For,
You say it's not accurate?
it
Yeah.
will be 100 for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's an assumption. I take the average salary, divide it. Maybe it's wrong. So if you have a different number, you would plug it here, and maybe it give you a different number. And then you will say, wait a minute, this is my analysis. This is the optimal speed limit. Okay? It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about how you reason. Remember that. Sounds good? Do you get it?
So now the time concurs everything else. We don't care about that, like deaths and whatever. We just
But this is what governments use to set the speed limits. This is the reason why the speed limit is not 80 in the highway. If it was 80, nobody would die. If the deaths were the most important thing, it would be 80, but it's not. The lost time is also a kind of death. How many lifetimes is 2 million lost hours? It's a lot of lives. Sounds good? Questions? Let's go for the second case then. Who has an answer for the second case? Second case. Who wants to read the second case? Yes, you. What's your name? Watha, can you read the second case for us, please?
You are an intern at the health department of your city. An outbreak of coronavirus has been detected in a hotel in your city. 10 guests are infected. You must decide whether to guarantee the hotel or not. Guaranteed? Okay. The hotel or not. There are 1,000 guests in the hotel. From previous experience, we know that at least half of them will be infected and the guarantee goes into effect. If there is no guarantee, the virus will spread more rapidly to the general population in the city. What would you do? Your city has 8 million population. The death rate of the virus is 2%. The cost of lockdown of hotel is AED 1 million per day. How much AED? Okay, the length of the guaranteed is 2 months. Assume all missing information.
Right. Who's got an answer for this one? Yes, you have something? Which approach would you use here? Common good approach. Very good. Common good approach. How do you convince your boss that and
That's an outbreak, like 500,000 people, is way less than an outbreak where
But it's
cost less because
so cost less. If you say cost less, you need to show me the numbers.
well,
Yes.
like if we go back to the original, which is 400K per person,
Yeah.
say like half a thousand for times 400K would give us like the average debt of
Let's do the numbers. Let's do the numbers. Let's do the numbers. Hold on. Let's do the numbers. So we have quarantine means isolate, yeah? So
500.
isolate or do nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it like that. Which are the costs here?
So if we did nothing,
If we do nothing, what will happen?
so about
What's gonna happen if we do nothing?
first we have 1,000 guests, so they may get infected.
Yeah, so we know that 500 will get infected, right? Okay, so do nothing.
No, this is not isolated. 500.
So guests infected. Let's do like that. If we do nothing, what happens?
There might be more infection.
If we do nothing, there's 10 guests infected. If we isolate them, there's going to be 500. Is that correct?
But if we do nothing, the outbreak will may go outside, and the whole city, which is 8 billion, was it?
8 billion population.
Yeah, 8 billion population might get sick.
That's very good. So we should do stakeholder analysis first. Who is important here? Well, the guests, people in the guest, the hotel owner, the city, population of the city. So let's see. City. Mhm. If we do nothing, what will happen with the city population? Read carefully what it says. What does it say?
So 2% of the population might die.
If there is no quarantine, the virus will spread more rapidly. More. It doesn't mean that if we quarantine, it will not spread. It just says if there is no quarantine, it will be more rapidly. It doesn't mean it will spread anyways. You have to read carefully. So you're just buying time. Sounds good?
But better, like at least tell
We don't care about opinions, we care about data. Opinions without data, useless. So if you say it's better, you have to show me numbers. Okay?
okay, back then,
Yes.
if we say go back to chickenpox, like this sickness, would they quarantine people?
Mhm.
So before it spread to everybody, they found like a medicine. But if they didn't quarantine,
Perfect. So buying time is important. Very good. That's very good. Super. Fantastic. So you can say buying time is super important. Okay, that's fantastic. But let's measure it. So city population, what will happen if we do nothing?
it will spread more rapidly. They might be more than 10 people.
Excellent. So you're just buying time. You're just buying time. How much time? We don't know. Estimate. 2 months. Same as the quarantine period. Buy. So nothing here. Buy time. And this is not a cost, this is a benefit. Yeah? So we have to be careful with that. So I'm going to put it in red. What other costs do we have here? Lockdown for the hotel.
1 million per day.
1 million per day. So how many days do we have?
Month? No, which means 60 days.
So it's going to be what, 120 million?
60 million.
60 million. 60 million. That's it.
Death rate of the virus is 0.02.
Okay. So in this case, we're going to have 8 million multiply by 0.02. This is the deaths. And here we're going to have the same, right? 0.16 million deaths. Yes?
So we'll have less the same.
Right, so it's still the same. So I'm going to put a comment here. So this is 2 months later. You buy time. Okay, but as Fatma very well said,
Yeah, but this is like estimated, assumed. If we like bought time, somebody might find medicine like before the 2 month period, and we'll have less death.
it could be,
No, that doesn't say that.
but
But it doesn't say that.
okay, that's perfect. So you have to decide as a health official, is it worth spending 60 million dirhams to buy 2 months' time for research, to buy time to develop a vaccine, which usually takes 10 years? Maybe yes, maybe not. So you have to decide that. And then you can go to your boss and say, we should do it because 2 months, even if it's 60 million, it's worth it.
I think it's worth it because 8 million population.
Like if we have like okay, maybe if we don't find it in 2 months,
Mm.
we find it in 6 months at least, we will like lessen the death by 2 months. Like we bought it 2 months, but we find it in 6 months. It's like we find it in 4 months.
Okay.
Like,
So why don't we measure? So if we give people, all these people will die, isn't it? But if we do the quarantine, they will die 2 months later. Yes, on average.
yeah.
So why don't we measure the value of that? How much is 2 months of life of 160,000 people when measured with the life value we have? Sounds good? So let's measure the extra life that we will provide if we isolate the people. It's 160,000 people multiplied by yes, you have 400K, exactly. 0.4. But 400K is for the lifespan of a person. And here is just 2 months. So we need to divide this 400K in all the months a person lives and allocate 2 months of that money, yeah? So usually a person lives, what, 70 years? So 70 years is 700 months, more or less. And we're saying, look, we're going to extend your life 2 extra months. So that would be 2 divided by 700. Yes? This is the extra life we're giving. This is it. Not so much. Okay.
But something.
It's something.
If we did nothing,
Oh, I did something wrong. Because I did something wrong, yeah. You see what's my mistake?
0.4. We don't have 10 million.
This should be 400,000. Okay, that's it. Okay. Sounds good? This is dirhams. 18 million, yeah. Yeah. Right. Sounds good? But maybe you say, no, we know that if we quarantine, it's not going to be 2 months, it's going to be 5 months. Or, hey, our population is not 8 million, it's 60 million. Sounds good? And that is why people quarantine the boats in Japan and all those places.
Quarantine what? Boats?
Have you not seen the news?
No.
Some people got the coronavirus in a cruise ship. And they're not allowed to leave the ship. Here you have the reason why the governments don't let them leave the ship. Coronavirus is very real. Yes, and that's how governments do the analysis. Sounds good? Yes? But the population is much higher. Japan, 125 million people, and so on. Okay, questions? Yes.
In the exam, we have to analyze and write.
No, it's going to be, in the exam, it's going to be easier. Easier or very similar to this one, but not as complicated, okay? So chill out. It's not an exam, it's a quiz, it's on Monday. It's a Monday. All right? Sounds good? It's going to be 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 20 questions. Multiple choice. Blackboard online, bring your laptops. Ha 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 ha, very funny. Yes, chapter 1.
I finished the individual essay.
Show it to me now.
Now? Okay.
People that wanted to do the alternative assignment to the debate, come to speak to me now.
Do I send it anywhere? It's
Send it me on a private message to Slack.
okay.
Oh, wait.
It's PDF mode.
You were supposed to submit it as the pre-debate, so in debate, in the assignment on the Blackboard.
Yeah.
You can submit it as if it was a debate exercise.
So like instead of
Yeah, but
Yeah,
wait a second. You will show it to me now.